Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Dadas Show. I'm your host, Ashiko Mbone. We are coming to you straight from the Kenya Bay Beach Hotel here in Mombasa. The Dadas Show is an equality and inclusion program that includes all women and what issues affect them, their impact and implications in light of the general 2022 elections. Now, we always welcome conversations from you, our audience at home. We want feedback, we want comments, we want questions. So feel free to reach us on all our social media platforms at the Dadas KBC. We look forward to hearing from you. The 21st century woman aspires to lead in a way that fits her womanhood. Her particular strengths include her panoramic view of issues, her social engagement, and the fact that she is willing to network and encourage women just like her. However, in the past, young women have not been effectively represented, both in the walks of life, in the workplace, in the schools, in the universities, and also in areas of governance. However, today I am joined by a panel of beautiful ladies who have been able to aspire all odds and go against all social biasness to be able to be leaders in their own fields of expertise. Before we jump into that, let's have a look at the following feature. Whether it is leading a national conversation about girls' education or fighting for gender equality in both public and private sector, an increasing number of young women are stepping forward as change agents.
The county will ensure that women get into the leadership positions, whether through nomination, through appointive positions, I think is very, very critical, but also to be able to provide services. We know this country has no services, or there are very, very limited services when it comes to cases of gender-based violence.
As International Youth Day draws near, we can only but applaud the milestones and achievements young women have attained so far. The day, established by the United Nations General Assembly, is celebrated annually on 12 August to bring youth issues to the attention of the international community and celebrate the potential of youth as partners in today's global society.
If we look at the representation, out of the 1,883 elected positions in the country, women account for only 172. And it's on this premise that we've been training journalists on why it is important for us to ensure we are giving women a voice, especially the political aspirants that are running for these 2022 elections. And one of the sessions that has never missed is gender-sensitive reporting and political representation for women in the 2022 general election.
In an ideal world, it shouldn't matter whether there is a woman running a company or making decisions in boardrooms. The continued dominance of men in leadership positions across Africa has increased the gender gap, and many women are constantly hindered from participating in leadership and political position.
Organize ourselves to support women who are on the ballot. But if they're not even on the ballot, there is nothing we are doing. So we need to have those women on the ballot.
When more women are in leadership, we are assured of real development.
This theme amplifies the barriers that women face and the importance of inclusivity to achieve economic development and social change. It also highlights the inequalities facing women and girls, as well as vulnerable groups as a result of climate change. But it also brings to the fore the role of women and girls as powerful change agents because of their resilience, their courage, and the influential roles they play in their homes, their communities, our country, and the world.
However, for the young women taking up leadership position, they get overwhelmed with difficulties entrenched in patriarchal norms and attitudes such as sexual harassment.
We've seen women whose videos are circulating on their sexuality, but we have not seen men's video circulating on sexuality.
At the Association of Media Women in Kenya, we've already done a research on online violence against women. And this, we've seen an increase compared to the previous years. And it's a double threat because initially we were dealing with the threats offline before the digital age arrived. But we've realized it's come with both opportunities and disadvantages. And worst of it is that this online or this cyberbullying, as you're calling it, has forced some women out of politics.
So eventually, through the support of our partners, we got our monitors, and I can confirm that you're already processing the first reports. And interesting, what we are learning a lot has to do with narratives. We are seeing an escalation in especially online harassment, which is the most difficult.
A number of programs and initiatives have been designed to encourage more women into leadership positions, remain critical in our era, and given the fast approaching challenges of the future. Initiatives such as the Ladies' Baraza, organized by Coast Women in Business, brings together young women and students to share their journey stories with them.
These are women whom we have worked with for a long time, training them and encouraging them to offer themselves.
It's not done yet. There are so many things that we can do together with women.
The challenges I face in the ground is because sometimes people are thinking people with disabilities do not make it. They think that we do not deliver.
Evolving job needs are empowering women and leveling the playing field.
Of networks. Your network starts with your family, your circle of friends, your chama, your religious group, you are professional. You can name as many networks as possible.
Some of these women are good leaders, but they lack those resources. But I want to tell you, do not let resources come in the way of you becoming a leader.
So joining me, as I mentioned, is a beautiful group of ladies, pioneers in their own fields. And the best thing about it is they're young. So this is going to be one definitely for the books. So right next to me is Anne Rose. Anne Rose is the Executive Director of Uzalendo Africa Initiative. Next to her is Barbara Ngome. She's the Chief Officer in the Executive Department in the county government of Mombasa. That's quite a mouthful, isn't it? Then finally we have Sarah Nyawa, who is the CEO of News Collections. Karibu sana, ladies, yeah? So to get the ball rolling, well, I'll start off with you, Anne. So what notable achievements, we're talking about, young women, fighting for their space, be it in the workplace, be it in the government, so just for the audience at home, so that they can actually know that there are milestones that young women are creating, especially here in the coastal region. So what notable achievements are there in young women leadership?
Thank you so much, Barbara. And once again, my name is Anne Rose Okome and Nyawa. And I lead this Pan-African organization called Uzalendo Africa and chair the East African Youth Peace and Security Network based in Arusha. And some of the notable achievements, I will say, first of all, is the space to represent not the legislative role per se, but even in the legislative role, we have seen young women being in politics. We have quite a number. Actually, this particular legislative arm of the government in Mombasa has about 15% of young people, and where there are also young women. And right closer to home, you have Barbara here, who is also, quite there. So there are spaces of representation and legislation for young women who have been able to get there. There are young women like myself who have not only broken the ceilings, but shattered the glass ceiling on the floor. The network that I chair at the East African community has a secretariat of 9 men, and I happen to be the chair and the only female.
Wow.
So that tells you that it is actually possible to break the glass ceiling. It is possible as a young woman to represent. It is possible as a young woman to make decisions. We have seen young women both, because first of all, we have to understand that women are not homogeneous. Women are leaders in their own spaces, and sometimes where we go wrong is when we talk about leadership. We want to make leadership very formal, but we need to demystify what really is this leadership we are talking about. If we have a woman in Kongowea Market who is the head of the circle, that is leadership. If we have a woman like Sarah Nyawa, who happens to be, an entrepreneur who is working in a male-dominated space, that is leadership. And even for her to just find her way up and being, elected as the deputy chair for the top under 40 CEOs networks in Africa. That is quite notable. And most importantly, because she's from Mombasa. And for me, I would say the notable achievements are multidimensional that we can never think about. Because even in all sectors, we have women represented and young women. I think young women have, broken the barriers, but also met in the middle with the most established women. And this is the conversation we need to have moving forward, where we are saying we recognize the role that the matriarchs have played before us. I know we have notable women like Wangari Maathai. We have seen what Martha Karua is doing now, what she has done. We had women of many fasts like Orie Rogo Mandulis. We even had if you look at Africa, we even have Salif Johnson, the president of Liberia, Leima Bowie. We can name so many women who have come before us. But as young women, then we have a script to read from and to break the barriers. Because also the other thing we need to understand and take stock of is our realities.
Yes.
The lived realities of our matriarchs is not what we are living. And we have technology as our advantage. And that's why I feel like we as young women in Coast Region, first of all, have that space to challenge the status quo and the narrative, that cost, the way people say, oh, cost is just cost.
Yeah,
Cost is just cost. But imagine we have that space to do it. Yesterday, we had a story of a woman called Juliet Mapenzi who actually did it as the assistant chief, and now she's vying. So I feel like there are many notable achievements that we can place our hands on, both in the civil society, government, because as long as we demystify the homogeneity of women, then we understand that when you're counting leadership position, it doesn't have to be formal. It can be very informal.
Yeah.
We have women in the tourism sector. And all these people are young women, and they're challenging the stereotypes and standing against all the odds just to make sure that, we are women. And I cannot end this, Ashiko, without mentioning that even for the first time, we have a woman in the clergy as a leader.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about the notable achievements, which is congratulations to all of you, accolades and all the props. But I'm sure with every coin there are two sides, So Barbara, what challenges do the young women face in leadership? You're in a leadership position in the government, which is normally considered has a very patriarchal environment. So what are some of the challenges you experience?
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Siko. Yes, like you mentioned, my name is Barbara. And before I became the chief officer in the governor's office, I was also the director for cabinet affairs, which is the arm of government that formulates policies. It's like the highest decision-making organ in government. So as the director, I sit in the cabinet within the county government of Mombasa, and I'm the one in charge of seeing how the policy is formulated, how do we cascade it down to the county assembly. And out of all the hats I wear, the one I'm most proud of, I must admit, Ashiko, is being the team leader for the Governor's Young Leaders Program. We fondly call it the GYLP. So the Governor's Young Leaders Program is a mentoring program and domiciled within the governor's office, whose patron is the governor, and the coordinator is the county secretary, Mr. Job Tumbo. So the essence of the program is to grow leadership within public sector, to be able to change the narrative of government from the inside out, to change the mindsets of people towards government. You don't want to still have that mindset of government being like, oh, you go there, queue a line. No. So that's the mindset we're trying to change. And within that team of 25, it is more female than male.
Oh, that's lovely.
We actually have about 12, 15 ladies and against 10 men. So that is something that I really wear with so much pride. On top of that, I also run an organization, a grassroots organization where it's actually dubbed the Dada Football Tournament. Interesting, yeah?
And
that's because
great
actually,
minds.
I know, right? And my nickname at home, they call me Dada so well. It's called
well, Dada, welcome to the Dada Show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, yes. So that within that football tournament, we actually just encourage young girls to come out, play football, not because they want to be Ronaldo or anything, but if only they could play football this weekend, go back home tired, probably we are actually trying to cut down the chances that they could get into any other vices.
Yes,
so
the shenanigans.
The shenanigans, I mean.
Yeah.
So you asked about the challenges. It would be sad not to mention that indeed there are challenges, and the most dominant one within our region is the cultural bias. you know. You come from an area where women are known to have a proper place in the kitchen.
Yes.
So we only have in a long time, we always refer to mekatilili wa menza alifanya, mekatilili wa menza alitembea, you see? So we need to grow more of mekatilili wa menzas, and we all are here.
Yeah.
We all are. So the biggest thing that really holds us back is the cultural bias. Why would you take a girl to school and eventually she's just going to get pregnant and that kind of thing.
Married.
And get married. I
Yeah.
mean, just let her go as soon as she's done with class 8, so you don't have to bother educating her, you know.
Yes.
Just that's the one thing that's been pulling us back, Mystic, and it really pains me as a person, because I know these are things that we can break past, you know.
Yeah.
Because over time I feel like our society hasn't learned so much from Mekatilili. We appreciate her, we celebrate her, but we need to grow more of them, you know. If only someone had told Mekatilili, no, you don't have to fight against this British colonist.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even know about
Where
her.
would we be?
Where would we be?
Yeah.
Where would we be? So that cultural bias against women, and that their place is in the kitchen, and that their place is just around the household, that's one of the biggest threats, one of the biggest challenges that we face around here. And that also ties up to male dominance. Male dominance in our community is on an extreme level. I was talking to my sister Rose, and she mentions, like, why don't we have a female Kaya elder? And I can tell you intrinsically, I ask, female Kaya elder?
How does
That's
that even
unheard
look
of.
like?
Why? You know, and that means the biases also exist with me, you know. I'm thinking, have you ever heard of a female Kaya elder? Atafanya nini kwenye mizimu ya Kaya mwanamke? I also ask myself, you know, what will a woman be doing at the shrines? I mean, we are not even allowed to go so close, you know, let alone get into the shrine itself. So that's male dominance. And unfortunately, it really affects all of us, like it just did me.
Yeah.
But it's something that we also need to break past. So that has also been one of the biggest challenges to leadership. But I believe many of us are actually breaking it.
Yeah.
The third and big challenge that also we face as leaders is the family responsibility that we have. How does my maternity leave? I've gone for 2 maternity leaves within 3 years, 5 years, 4 years. 2 maternity leaves. So, assuming I was not one who would come back and show my value at the workplace, the first maternity leave will make me, I mean, ameshaenda. By the time I come back, my place has been taken. I have to fight for it. I have to show, listen, guys, I'm going to pump my breast milk, but I'm going to pump my work as well, you know.
True.
So it is something that you really
you
need to fight against it. And now, 4 months later, 6 months later, again, like, okay, here you are again. 9 months later, oh my God, she's out again. She's gone for another 3 months for her maternity leave. She comes back. Like,
she comes back.
She comes back.
Pregnancy is not a disease.
Pregnancy is not a disease. She comes back and she can still take her role, you know. She can still be that leader that she's always been.
She can still sit on the table.
She can still sit on the table. She can still make that decision that she's always made. So unfortunately, in our setup and in the workplace, we really have to fight. We really have to show that, yes, you know what, guys, I can do it again. I have done it before and I can still do it again. Like, oh, we kimbilia mtoto. No, I'm going to kimbilia mtoto when time is right.
Yes.
But for now, I am going to do my board papers. I'm going to make my presentation.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to show that, yes, I can do this cabinet meeting and deliver. I can do anything that needs to be done and be good at it. So those challenges do exist, I must admit, but I believe that with such conversations,
absolutely, you're able to surpass them, and that's the reason why we are all, you know, we're here. I like your spirit, the fact that you do acknowledge that being a woman by no means is a demerit. Being able to get children, being able to, we can be able to do it all. So many women who have, who have come before us have been able to do that. You've been able to have your career and have, and have your family. So I think that's even a conversation that we would want to dig into at some point in the future, how to, the work-life balance and how we work on that. Now, speaking of the challenges, we've talked about the challenges, we've talked about the achievements. So now, Sarah, how best can we have more women? Because here is the roadmap, and there are certain ladies who've just gotten so inspired by what Barbara has said and what Anne has said. So what's the next step for them? How do we get more of youth?
Thanks so much. My name is Nyawa. I'm the CEO of News Collection. Again, I'm very proud of myself because just a few months ago, I was given another title. I'm the Deputy Chairperson of Africa and 40 CEOs, whereby I represent all Kenyans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Apart from all those titles, again, community, I'm a social work by profession, whereby I volunteer supporting orphanages, supporting disability, people living with the disabilities, ambao ni walemavu. I support them with wheelchairs, walking stick, na make sure wamerudi shule, na tafutia scholarship. Ile kondoa dhana kuwa walemavu they cannot go to school, na they don't have rights. I make sure sometimes pia na tafutia njia za kupata kama ni voters card, wa vote, IDs, hizo vitu ambazo necessary. Back to our question. How best can we have more nani in our leadership? Kitu ambacho naweza kusema, especially women and all women who are watching me today, let us have equipped skills, first of all. For us women, most of the time, we have been complaining, tukienda kwa interview, sisi hatuchaguliwi, hizo position kubwa kubwa, ama wenye ambao wanakuwa selected, ama wenye wanachaguliwa ni wanaume. Si ati ni wanaume, it's because us women tumechukulia ile dhana kuwa kwetu ni kuoleka, ama sisi kazi zetu ni za nyumba. Now hiyo inakuanga challenge kwetu, ama hiyo inafanya sisi tunakosa zile position pale mbele. For example, Martha Karua asingekuwa selected kwa deputy wa Raila kama asingekuwa amesoma na asingekuwa na skills.
Kabisa.
So for us, let us take that challenge ya kuwa we must be full equipped.
We must be qualified.
We must be qualified.
Do the work.
Yeah. For us to get those positions. Again, let us show people that we can. So we have skills, na ile tunajilalia. Show the people. Sometimes people, for you to give you the position, to give you opportunities, you must show them, yes, I'm able to do this job. Manelewa? So, na challenge watu ama naambia, the best way we can have those opportunities, we must be full equipped. Again, tumesoma, let us make sure we go back to school. We have seen a lot of politicians losing opportunities because hawajasoma. Tumesoma mpaka high school, ama tumesoma mpaka college. Let us kusoma kuishi. Tuendelee kusoma, wanawake tuchukue hizo challenges za kusoma, hata kama kuna watoto wakienda shule na wewe unaenda shule.
Na wewe unaenda shule pia, I love that.
Yeah, unaenda shule, mkirudi kila mmoja anafanya kazi, kutoka hapo mnafanya homework.
Unafanya homework nyinyi nyote.
Kabisa. Kitu nyingine, the best way we can have a lot of opportunities for us women, when we're given opportunity, ama tukienda kwa interview, let us not show people that I'm weak. Ukisema I'm weak, ama kujionyesha you are weak, you need favors, hiyo itakunyima opportunity. Na the moment you are being given an opportunity through favors, itakufanya uwe unadhulumika, ambapo you will not be able to speak for yourself. So for us, let us have confidence to fight for all positions that are there for us. Thank you.
That is fantastic. So the key, this is the main ingredients for young women in leadership, not only in coastal, Kenya, but in the rest of the country. Be confident, educate yourself, fight for your space on the table. Being a woman is not considered a weakness. It's not. It's actually, and I know we have to fight most of the times, 10 times or 30 times harder, but let's do it. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Now, we've talked about society, we've talked about civil society, what we need to do. And this will be to Barbara. Do you think the government offers adequate support to young women in leadership? We touched on that when we were starting and talking about how we have inadequate representation, both in various walks of life, be it in the office, be it in areas of governance. So do you think that the government creates opportunities that will always boost young women?
Well, I think with time we need to start. There's this question that is always asked, what can you do? We need to stop asking what the government is doing, but what can you do? But now back to that question. Yes. My answer is a definite yes. The law does provide, and we misinterpret this law to our own disadvantage. We say that, it's a third of women. No. It's a third of either gender. So that means we could have 2/3 women and 1/3 male. So the law is very clear. However, now, the only place where the challenge also comes in, even after the government has provided for this affirmative action, we've got women fund, we've got women reps, we've got women in boards, you know, very clearly stated out. The implementation, on the other hand, Misiko, is what really, really disappoints to some extent. You get to realize that not all parastatals have adhered to it, but then again, what is the law that punishes them? It's a bit silent. You know, it's simply something that we are encouraged to do. But as far as the law is concerned, yes, it is adequate support, adequate legislation. However, then the implementation, that's where the problem comes in. But I believe with time, everything takes time. I always like to take a good example of slavery was there in America 200 years ago. Today, we are still walking around Black Lives Matter. I mean, racism, that's still going on. So I am a firm believer that leadership and progress on what we care about is possible, though slow and progressive, but with every single step we make, we are heading towards the goal that we have identified. And I believe that in the future, I love to say, Misiko will not sit here and say, she's a female leader. No, we're not going to call her a female leader. We're just going to say she's a leader. She is a leader, you know. We're not going to say she's female. So just that addition of the word female totally negates.
We need to start being identified as in our roles, in our professional capacity, as compared to, you know, saying female leader is almost short of saying female doctor. But you see, now we say daktari, you know, be it male or female.
Absolutely. So yes, the government is doing quite a lot. We just need to implement that more and cut back on this narrative of, oh, we're a female leader. No, she's a leader, that's it.
She's a leader, period.
She's a leader, period.
You know, it's still in addition, and a bit of a follow-up question. Do you feel like the information, for instance, you know, is there proper the dissemination of information? Does it trickle down? Could it be the fact that women all over the country, not even in the coastal region, young women do not know of the opportunities that are out there, be it for grants, be it for, like you've mentioned quite a number. How many from your village? Do they know that in the event that they want to start a business, that this is the channel they can take? You know, we're talking about the Women Fund. Do you feel like misinformation sometimes, or lack of?
Unfortunately, that misinformation or lack of is what really presents a huge barrier. So we can always say, oh, we have not been told, or we don't know about it, or who knows it's given to the people wanajuana.
Cartels,
watakumaliza, that kind of thing. But yes, I believe that it is there. However, to the female, to the ladies out there, let us not use that as an excuse. Let's go out there. She said, educate yourself. Let us go out there. Let us find these opportunities. Let us take advantage of them, even as the government continuously disperses this information bit by bit. And I want to tell everyone out there during this political season, when someone comes to you asking for a political position, other than just the money they're going to give you, seek information.
Seek information. What is in the manifesto that is going to benefit me and my children and my family and my wife? So that, I think that is a very, very good question. But let's move on to Anne. So now that we have discussed all that, what leadership opportunities are there for young women, especially in the coastal region? So when we are sitting, we've already found out the ladies have educated themselves. You know, they know that this is what they... So what are the leadership opportunities currently here for anyone who's watching at home?
Thank you so much, Ashiko. And allow me to say, first of all, you become a leader by making more leaders. Okay, so it's not just about you being the leader, but how many more leaders are you going to make with you? How many more Ashikos? And because I'm very radical Pan-African, in fact, unapologetic Pan-African, I will say, African women in general, first of all, have quite a big opportunity. And the way I see it, they are readily available opportunity, created opportunities, and invented opportunity. So it depends with what you're doing and what skills are you currently having. Now, allow me to say that, yes, I want to congratulate the government for example, being part of some of these international, frameworks, such as the generation equality commitments of ending GBV, for example, by 2026. But then the other thing I also want to acknowledge is the work that, the normative structures and the quota system that have been put in place by different member states in Africa, and Kenya being one of the member states, so that does not, leave alone coast region. So first of all, there are opportunities in the government that women can take advantage of, and these are elective positions and normative positions. So if you are able to vie, then go vie, and if you know that you can work towards your nomination, then you have that opportunity to do so. But most importantly, you can create the opportunity, and I'll give you an example. We run a program called Beijing Talks Pwani, where we localize the global resolutions, which is now Beijing Declaration of 1995. And basically the program is about African women being able to reclaim their agency, voice and purpose. So what you do is basically equipping the young women to know their rights and claim their spaces.
I like what you said. You said in terms of opportunities, because we are talking about what opportunities. You said 3 types of opportunities,
yes.
Which were?
We said you can have the readily available which are constitutional based,
yes.
And then you have the invented ones,
yes.
and the created ones. And one of the created opportunities we did as organization,
yes.
is the Beijing Talks Pwani for the girls. And so I will say now, technology is there to accelerate gender equality and leadership. And so the thing is, there are opportunities for young women in the coast region in technology. Now, in this region, there's something called achari. It's like a mango pickle or something.
Yes.
And they make the best. And young women, thanks to a legislative framework like the African Continental Free Trade Area, actually can leverage on ICT to sell their acharis, not to Zanzibar, but to Zambia, Ashiko, through e-commerce. So that is just an opportunity. In the tourism sector, there are quite a number of opportunities. I know we have these palm trees and we have the oil. How do we add value to the palm tree, and to the oil, and sell it elsewhere, not intra? And you can do intra. So opportunities are there, and even the grant for the people, or for the young women who are watching like myself in grant making spaces, networking, and then now being able to access the grants, and then making more, ashikos, making more and mauas, making more. It is possible. And the other opportunities that we could invent now, I couldn't end this without mentioning the opportunities in peace and security, because it is a very interesting time in this country to be a woman, where we are having conversations about elections, but we are also having conversation about the possibility of the first deputy vice president who is a woman. So what that means for us who are in peace building is that within the local security structures, actually women can be part of those local peace security structure. And the Constitution is very clear about that, but also we have international resolutions that we are party to, like resolution UN Security Council 1325 talks about women, peace and security. So in every district peace committee, we have a threshold for women, and that is a created space, Ashiko, that we can take advantage of.
Yeah, so those are fantastic points. I hope everybody has been taking note of that. There are multiple opportunities. I think we will have a session where you will actually be able to outline all of that. But it's so fantastic to hear that the opportunities are there. It's just for the people to reach out and grab them. So we'll go for a short break, and then when we're back, we will dive straight into the question and answer session.
Imagine waking up to a majestic sunrise. Imagine an early morning walk on unspoiled sandy beach. Imagine the tranquil tide slowly creeping up to your feet. Imagine the breathtaking views of the blue skies over the glorious Indian Ocean. It's time to capture your imaginations. Book a beach holiday at Kenya Bay Beach Hotel, Mombasa, and turn your imaginations into reality. Prominently located along Bamburi Beach, North Coast, Mombasa, Kenya Bay is the perfect resort for a memorable beach vacation. The setting is just a prelude to an excellent potpourri of romanticism, practicality, pleasant amenities, and personalized services that will totally mesmerize you. Kenya Bay Beach Hotel. Book online now at kenyabay.com or email reservations at kenyabay.com or call reservations on 0725 991 500.
take on women in leadership, so far I can say it's impressive, and that is the direction we want our women, especially the ladies, the young ladies, to go to that direction. The past, if you analyze the past, there's a lower number of women want to participate in leadership. But so far, especially this year, as we head to election, you can see a couple of young women trying to be part of the leadership of this country. Na pia, you can see the running mates. We have right now, out of the 4 candidates who are running for for presidency, we have 3 women running mates. So it's impressive, and that is the direction we want our women, ladies, to go.
We are conforming to new patterns, and these new patterns are in relation to, giving equal opportunities to both genders, especially basing on the fact that we have now the affirmative action, which concentrates its issues on giving women equal opportunities and equal representation. So my opinion on women getting into leadership, it's something that we need also to support from, the lowest levels of the society to the upper government structures. We need to give it a boost, to a support to kabisa, because hii ni kitu ambayo itakuja kupay off in the near future.
I think it's a very good move in regards to the fact that young women are the vibrant blood that we need to take course of action in changing the political scene. So young women taking up leadership positions in almost all levels, it is a good move, not only for us in at the current generation, but also for the future generation, because it shows that it is possible, it can be done.
I do think it's a very good step, especially towards the implementation of the Constitution. There's an article that talks about the 2/3 gender rule, and we've seen it not really being implemented, where because women have feared, maybe in the past, because of the patriotic, society we used to live in, or rather still live in, they feared taking leadership positions. But I can see that there's a move of them maybe coming up, so I think it's a good move towards the implementation of that article of the Constitution. Yeah.
It's amazing. Wacha wanawake pia wa take over, because penye tuko sasa hivi ni wanaume ndio wametupeleka. Changamoto ambazo tunapitia sasa hivi ni wanaume ndio wametufikisha. So let us see, tuone kama wanawake wakichukua, it's going to be a bit different, because wanasema hata kwa elimu wanasema when you educate a lady, you educate a whole society, and when you educate mwanaume umemlea yeye peke yake. Na mimi kama mzazi I have 3 girls, so I'd love to see more ladies into leadership, because definitely I'd love my girls to be there.
Welcome back. We had a very engaging conversation before the break with the panel, and now it's the opportunity for my interactive audience to chip in. I believe Maureen has a question.
Thank you so much. My name is Maureen Magak, the Executive Director of Lender West Africa. This is a very good discussion, and my question goes to the beautiful Barbara. Most of the time, kule mashinani, there is narratives, vitu havitufiki, information hazitufiki, and there are very good plans you've talked about on women opportunities in leadership. And basically, I'm asking a question on information. What are the strategies that are within your department to make sure that the information on these opportunities reaches a young woman in Mwakirunge, a young woman in the grassroots areas that you will normally not find people gathering and talking about this, so that we can empower these women more? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maureen. I think that's a very pertinent question. How do the women in the grassroots, maybe the ones who don't have the access to the internet, we like assuming that everybody has a smartphone, your office, how do they ensure they get the information in regards to opportunities that are out there? Please.
Well, what I love to say is that the people have the power. The people have the power. So now through their power, they elected a representative. So your first line is now the representative who is representing you in town. Mwakirunge ni mbali, but you have someone who comes to town, and at the source of the information, they are there. So they're your first line, ideally, as the person that you elected. So we expect that the people that who you elected to represent you will bring the information home. If that's not all, in the event that they don't, they will have town hall meetings. We've got meetings with people. We've got meetings if there's something, Mwakirunge is hugely on agriculture, so we've got forums on agriculture that the department would have right at the mashinani, maybe in the nearest primary school and stuff. So those are some of the ways that you're able to get this information, assuming you don't get it through any social media platforms.
Yes.
However, allow me to just advise people out there, let us be more proactive, and let us not say, tukifika huko tutapewa nini? That is one of the things that really holds us back. Yes, we are going to call for a forum. Please come. We're going to talk to you about ABCD. We're going to talk to you about the opportunities that we have. We're going to talk to you about, there was a time we took coconut seedlings in Mwakirunge, and guys were we need to, facilitation to come and pick that kind of thing. So that attitude really needs to change. But however, the town hall meetings are a great way. Your representatives are also a great way. And for those who can access internet, that is also one of the ways that information is disseminated.
Okay, that's a fantastic response. So there are multiple ways to skin a cat.
Absolutely.
So I think when the initiative is from within, you will avail yourself. And I do agree, the county meetings, the barazas are always summoned every single time. But everybody will always ask for, give us facilitation fee, give us sodas. So let's always have, a look at the bigger picture when we come to this. So the next question is Lillian.
Thank you, Ashiko. My name is Lillian, and my question goes to Anne. I believe the panel has addressed the women, but there's this young girl has just finished or is almost finishing her secondary education. Before they find their footing, maybe they get to watch the show and they're like, wow, I think that is something I want to start doing or I'm interested in. Where is the starting point for this young girl? That goes to Anne.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Anne, I believe the question was very clear.
Thank you so much, Lillian, for your question. I think, like Barbara said, being proactive in the information. I just finished Form 4 and I would like to find my footing. The best place to start will be the chief's office because they have a notice board that has all the opportunities existing. That will be one space to look at, and if they live, say, near an organization, they could go check out what they are doing, then see if they like, and then carry along with them an open mind just to see, I may find all these things, but it's okay to experience all of them before I choose what exactly I want to specialize on. And then finding mentors, and the young girls should not think of mentors like people who are not reachable. Like the way we say, oh, my mentor is Thomas Sankara. Like I would say, I love Mama Madikizela Mandela, and I cannot reach to her, but just thinking of someone, even within the family, who has made it that can inspire her.
Thank you so much. I think that's fantastic. We're looking at various avenues, and I believe someone who is watching at home, a young girl just finished Form 4, she can be able to pick some of that up. We'll post more tips from these wonderful ladies on our social media platforms, so don't fret, we still have you covered. Next question is coming from Maimuna. Maimuna?
Thank you very much. My name is Maimuna Siraj. I work for Uzalendo under the Kijana Jihusishe program, and also now being part of the Beijing Talks Pwani. So my question will be straight on to Barbara. We normally have a huge number of girls in school and out of school, and those who have given birth. But now is the county government coming up with evidence-based interventions when it comes to now empowering this young girl and be able now to nurture her, and also looking for these opportunities that we are saying they are there, which the young people at the grassroots level has not been in a position to see this opportunity. Another biggest challenge that we have in Mombasa County, and we all have to agree, is that we don't have citizen participation bill as a county. So how are you going to tell us this young person, this Mama Mboga, or Mama Mboga who has several daughters or kids at home, be in a position whereby to understand that today there is a citizen participation at this certain area, so I have to go and attend and be able to be trained, or there are new things which the county government is coming up with. So my task will be, how can we push to have a citizen participation bill so that we can be able to have places whereby we can get this information?
Okay. Yes, Barbara?
That's a very interesting question because citizen participation is anchored in law. It is your fundamental right to be engaged by your government. It is your right to know each and everything that the government is doing. So your question is, how then do you know that, right? Once again, like through the reps, but you talked about the young children and
the young girls.
Yes,
Yes,
we've got a situation room here in Mombasa County at Tononoka, one of its kind in the entire country, and it has a toll-free line where people can call in and get support, both social and psychological support after that. At the Coast General as well, we also have a unit that supports young girls who've just gotten pregnant in partnership with the Social Service Center at Tononoka that also supports these girls, and it takes them through some session.
Yes.
It takes them through a process of healing, a process of
rehabilitation
yes.
Yeah.
It also helps them register for Linda Mama in a very special category, and through that, if at all the case was not, can I call it consented, or maybe it was unconsented, maybe like an abuse of some sort, there's still channels and avenues to take care of that young girl, and also maybe to counsel her until she is fully healed, she's fully rehabilitated and now able to reintegrate. The society as well plays a huge role in that, you know. We shouldn't shun them, you know. We shouldn't put them aside, because when we do that, then how much can the government do? But if we embrace them and the support that the government gives, it's able to really bring back this young girl into the society and just help her get her way into the social fabric and move on. It's never really the end of life.
That's fantastic, Barbara. So to wrap us up today, I want Sarah to close the show for me. In typical Costarian fashion, you know, what advice, which will be our parting words for today, what advice would you give a young woman who is watching right now, who is seeking opportunities for either leadership, she just wants to pursue more? What advice would you give that young girl?
My advice today, first of all, I'd like to say, for those young women are vying for leadership or opportunities, know the reason why you're vying for that opportunity. Two, why? Because you are not vying for that opportunity for yourself, but we are representing a lot of people, especially women. So kama unavai kwa hiyo position, unajua sababu mimi navaa hii kwa sababu I want to do ABCD. Na mimi nikipewa position, angalia wenzako, usiseme mimi kama Nyosa ama kama Sara niko kwa hii position, I can do anything that I want. No, there's Barbara, there's someone else there. Anaangalia wewe kama a role model. The moment ukidestroy ama ukimisbehave, pia yeye umemharibia. Na sisi tumemharibia yeye kwa sababu yuko karibu na wewe. The whole world. Utakuwa umeharibia. So wanawake tuangalie hiyo sababu ya kuvai. Kitu nyingine, let us have a heart of sharing opportunities. A lot of women will have this problem. Mimi nina run organization, Barbara na run organization. Opportunity imetoka, siwezi ifanya mimi as an organization, but Barbara can do it. I'll never allow that opportunity to go to Barbara, which is very wrong. When you are vying for that position, jua kuna opportunities zitatokea. These opportunity, if you cannot do them, there is a lot of women, they can do that job. Another thing, if you are there, you have to know, hawezi fanya kila kitu peke yako. Ni lazima yule akombine mkono wake, yule akombine mkono, effort for all women to be at the top. Kitu nyingine, kama sisi wanawake, have confidence. Hata ukipelekwa mahali kuna wanaume, jua kwa mimi niko hapa kwa hii position ama niko kwa hii kiti, ninawakilisha watu, so ni lazima nihakikishe wanawake naweka at the top. Example ni Mama Samia. Mama Samia ni mtu ambaye ananitia moyo sana. Ya kuwa yeye haogopi kama ni mwanamke. Tuko na mfano mwingine from our county, Kwale County, Safina Kwekwe. I love that lady. Ni PS. I know you know her. Ana make sure opportunity ambayo inatokelezea kuna mtu inamfit, ana fix mtu. Hajali kama hakujua ama nini, bora anajua you are capable of doing this job. Let us have that habit as women and we will grow and go very far.
I cannot add anything past that. It's been a wonderful, very, very insightful show. We've learned a lot. We've been able to network. We've been able to discover opportunities tenfold for young women as we are growing up. Let's hold each other's hands. Let's network. Let's share opportunities. Let us grow. So on behalf of my production team in KBC and my location partners, the Kenya Bay Beach Hotel, and our partners, Journalists for Human Rights, I want to thank you so much for joining us on today's platform. Make sure that you join us on social media, on all our social media platforms at the Dadas KBC. Until next week, same time, same place, I'm your host, Ashiko Mbune. Bye-bye.